forward, I think we know that this challenge faces all of us, and we need to start moving forward. So adopting new technologies is no longer about being at the cutting edge of processes. It's more about boosting productivity, increasing profitability, and giving our companies a competitive edge. How do we get ahead of our competitors? And as you know, most of you that are attending this call today are part of a commercial organization. So whether you are in sales, marketing, customer service, this is all about you. This is about your areas. We will discuss slightly about how other areas are using technology, but today really is focused on your teams, on sales, marketing, and customer service. So having said that, there's a bigger challenge that we're all facing as we are requested to innovate and deploy smarter solutions faster than ever. We are left with the same resources, meaning that every day our budget is less and less and less. The good news is that today's technology can truly help. Why? Because technology is getting cheaper. There's a lot more competitive. There's a lot more products out there, and that's forcing the democratization of a lot of technologies that before were only available to the few large corporations that could afford them. That is no longer the case. I mean, we're proud to represent Salesforce, but we do know that there are other cheaper CRMs out there. So the call to Salesforce is, how do we make our products, more robust, more valuable, and still be competitive with the market? And that's going to apply across any technology corporation today. And I think that's exciting because that's obviously and ultimately benefiting you guys, the customers. So as we get started in today's different topics, we want to do a poll and ask you, what do you feel as far as technology is concerned? Which technologies could provide a greater value to your company? So we're going to open the poll here, and here it goes. Assuming you already, and it is important also, assuming you already have a CRM. Okay, so if you don't have a CRM, you'll probably consider a CRM to be of greater value to you. And we do know that some customers on this call today may not have a CRM. So assuming you do have a CRM, which technologies do you feel could provide greater value to your companies? So the poll is out there. You will see a pop-up screen on your PCs or your mobile device. All we ask is that you go in there and you start voting. Do you feel mobile applications are going to make a big difference in your business? They can add the most value. Do you feel social marketing or marketing automation could make the biggest impact in your business? What about e-commerce, the availability of technology not only at the point of sale but also online, customers to be able to do transactions online? What about the Internet of Things? I mean, having all these connected objects, is this impactful to you? How do you find that to impact your business? And ultimately, artificial intelligence. Do you see any value to artificial intelligence at this point? The reason why we're asking these questions is because they're going to help us prioritize the next topics, and we also want to be able to address some of these today and give you a little bit of context, because sometimes we think that these things are way ahead. This is for the future. This is for later on. In reality, a lot of these things are already available to you. They're no longer a promise. They are actual products that are out there, and they're actually making a huge difference in the market. So I see that not everybody has voted. Only 50% of you have voted. So I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Please, we encourage everybody to vote. There's no right or wrong question. I don't know who answers what, so I'm not going to come back to you and say, hey, you voted the wrong way. That's not going to happen. So we encourage you, please vote. We'd like to have a vote from everybody on the call today. So we're going to give you another few seconds to complete your votes. Go ahead, guys. Don't be shy. I see one more vote. Okay. It seems like not everybody wants to vote. So that's all right. I'm going to close the poll, and I'm going to tell you what we see here. Oh, very interesting. So basically, we have a three-way tie on the results today. So we have 33% of you saying it's mobile applications. You feel that after the CRM, mobile applications could add the most value. 33% of you are saying social marketing, marketing automation, and 33% of you are saying e-commerce. Well, that's really strange. Normally we have one or two that sort of take the lead in what people feel. You guys think that it's between mobile applications, social marketing, and e-commerce. And like I said at the beginning, there's not one right or one wrong answer. It's really about understanding what you perceive to be of most value so that when we go into the next topics, you can get maximum benefit from this content. Also, it helps us shape, like I said at the beginning, our future conversations. The good news is we have an upcoming social marketing webinar that we're putting together with some partners, so you'll be hearing about that soon. So we will be going more in depth into social marketing, and we're also going to do that on e-commerce. We don't have anything scheduled yet for mobile applications, but since 33% of you feel strongly about that, we will repeat a webinar that we did about 2-3 months ago on mobile. So more on that to come. Nevertheless, don't worry about it because we're going to be covering all of these issues today, okay? And we're going to be talking about all these technologies as we move forward. So before we do that, we need to build a little bit of context and background. We are living in the smartest time we ever have. And the statistics are showing us that. I mean, we've gone from 10 million PCs to 6 billion smartphones to 75 billion connected things. This is the Internet of Things. And obviously, these changes are creating a massive network of information with unprecedented interaction. What this means is that it's not just that the information is out there, it's that the information is talking to each other. And now we can start to see trends and benchmarks much more clearly than we were able to in the past. And what we've found in recent years is that we've quickly adopted mobile devices, social media, and the Internet of Things, in many cases without even noticing. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. You know, I have a Philips toothbrush. Little did I know that this device is actually connected to the Internet. And I could potentially link it up to my dentist so that he can see how many times a day I brush my teeth. Now, other than invasive, it's really cool, right? Because now what you're doing is you're making things talk to systems which now can provide you better service or better guidance. Okay, so this is absolutely, very, very much at the cutting edge of where we are. I'm going to give you another example. I bought some running shoes from Under Armour. Little did I know when I bought the shoes that they are actually Bluetooth. So I can actually connect them with an app on my phone, and it can tell me, how many steps I'm taking. It can tell me how fast I'm running. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And we've been seeing this with Fitbit and with other devices. We see this with the tiles that Amazon offers, so you can order products automatically. So all these things are happening, and people think, oh, the Internet of Things, that's for the future. No, that's happening now. You probably have devices that are Bluetooth enabled, that are connected, that are giving somebody information, and you don't even know about it, okay? It's happening everywhere, and it's happening every day, and most of the times we don't even know it's actually happening. So just for you guys to be aware that we are way further ahead of time than we think that we are. In addition, we've entered the era of artificial intelligence. I know we've all been hearing about this through Watson and what IBM was doing, but now companies like Salesforce are really democratizing the availability of artificial intelligence by making it a part of their platform. So whether you have a sales-focused CRM or a marketing cloud or a service cloud, it doesn't matter. All of these technologies are going to have embedded artificial intelligence into them. And this, of course, is creating brand new opportunities along with challenges as far as the business world is concerned. Now, the opportunity is there for us to seize. What we need to do is we need to cut through the clutter and the noise and start taking a look at what of these things that are being offered right now is actually practical to my business, which is what the poll was all about. And as expected, you said mobile applications and social marketing. The reason why you said that is because those are the things that most people are familiar with. They're not so familiar with e-commerce, other than for saying, oh yeah, I do buy online. But their businesses are not offering e-commerce. They buy online, but their own companies are not selling online. So that's a gap. The Internet of Things, that's a gap. And artificial intelligence, that's a gap. That's all available now, and we're going to learn a little bit more about this. And a lot of people, a lot of experts are saying that artificial intelligence is perhaps the most important technological revolution since the creation of the Internet. So this is truly going to redefine what the future of our workforce looks like, what the future of our processes looks like, and what the future of how we operate our businesses look like. So it is really important that we put it in front of you so you can start noticing and you can start looking into these technologies as it relates to your companies and you taking them forward. Another thing that we all know, and I think we witness this every time we walk into a restaurant, is that technology has truly redefined human behavior. I mean, it's terrible to say, but it's shameful to me. You walk into a restaurant or you go to somebody's home and there's 5 people on the table and you have 4 people on a phone. I mean, yes, it's rude. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe that perception will change in the future, but the reality is that it's happening and it's redefining the way we do things. You no longer go look for an encyclopedia, you Google it. You no longer, have to remember somebody's phone number. You look it up in your speed dial. You no longer even have to do the web browsing because now you can talk to Siri. Hey Siri, what is the answer to this question? So we're getting lazier every day because devices are getting smarter every day. And that's changing the way we behave. Well, isn't that going to be the same in the business world? It absolutely is. And that's what we have to ready up for. And to understand that, we need to understand how it's going to impact our customers. Because in today's world, we've all accepted that the difference between us and our competitors is how we engage with our customers, how we sell to our customers, what experience we deliver to our customers, what service we give our customers. At the end of the day, it's no longer about profit. Profit is a result of what we sell, how we serve, how we service, and how we listen, and how we, engage with our consumers, with our customers. So this is truly the age of the customer. And in this new world, customers are expecting what? They're expecting more convenience in the way they interact with you, and they're expecting you to be smarter in the way you interact with them. In other words, they expect that you know who they are, you know what they like, you know what they don't like, and in essence, they're expecting you to guess what they want before they even tell you. Now, how in the world am I able to do this without technology? And that is truly the question at the core of what we're presenting today. Your business is expected to deliver a personalized experience anytime, through any channel, regardless of borders. It means wherever the customer is. So we need to ready up for this challenge. We need to be able to do this. We need to be able to do this in an intuitive, friendly, fast, efficient, and cheap way. And clearly, that presents a wild challenge for a lot of you, whether you're in IT or whether you're part of a sales, marketing, or customer service organization. So let's do a little bit of a deeper dive in this age of the customer. What is it that the customer is seeing? What is it that they're expecting? And we're going to take this clockwise. So if we look at 1 o'clock, we're looking at predictive commerce. I've been to your website before. You know what I've bought in the past. So I'm logging in again. What do you have for me? Are you really going to make me browse through everything? No, I'm expecting that you know what I'm going to buy. Okay, actionable analytics. I want to know how I'm doing, so that I know what I need to improve. Okay, I need to know how my business is performing so that I know where I need to take action. I need to know what is happening now so that I can make better decisions. And I have to have sufficient data so that those decisions are accurate. So that's what actionable analytics are. That is the secret of what Fitbit does for the individual that wants to be healthy. They want to be able to see how much they're walking, how many calories they're burning, how much they're eating, how many calories they're intaking. All this stuff is important for them to stay healthy. They want smart applications like Uber. It knows where I'm going. It knows how long it'll take me to get there, and allow me to share with other people. Products are now connected. We talked about tennis shoes. We talked about toothpaste, but we're also talking about equipment. We're talking about, Schneider using the Internet of Things to make sure that they know when, their machinery is not going to work before it stops working, when it needs maintenance before it needs maintenance. Okay, that's what people are expecting. The sales has to be guided. People expect that their salespeople are going to know exactly what to say when within the journey that the customer takes to buy a product. They're expecting service to be assisted. Yes, I want to be able to connect with my device and chat with you, but I want you to answer now. I don't want you to answer in an email tomorrow. Okay? You want to be able to do predictive marketing. I know the features that you use in your vehicle, therefore next time you walk in, I know the features that you're going to be looking for in your next car. And I want to be able to have chat bots for community where I have people answering questions that require people, but then I have robots answering questions that don't require people because they're already embedded into the analytics and the artificial intelligence of the questions that are asked most frequently. So we want to be able to offer our customers this kind of experience. It's smarter, it's faster, and it's more relevant than it's ever been. So let's take a look at what that journey looks like. In other words, where are we heading? What's happening? Before that, I'm going to see if I have any questions here. Diana, if you're getting questions, feed them into the questions section of the GoToWebinar control panel because I don't have access to the internal chat at this point. So I don't see any questions, so I'm going to continue to move forward. I do encourage you to ask questions as we progress so that you don't forget and this becomes as interactive as possible. But given that there are no questions now, I will continue with the presentation. So the next section here is about defining the roadmap. In other words, where are we heading? How are we getting there? What are the resources? What are we going to use to get there? We're looking at intelligence. Okay, we need to make sure that analytics are able to make recommendations. In the past, analytics gave you a real-time picture of what was going on. It required you to think through what you were going to do about it. With artificial intelligence, that will no longer be required. It will be helpful, it will provide context, it will help you maximize it, but it will not be required. People want to be more productive. That means they get more output out of less input. How do I get the most results out of my effort? They want to see speed. I want it and I want it now. They want to see mobility. I want to be able to access it from anywhere at any time and through any device. And I want connectivity. I want things that are connected so that I can see the value of what I'm getting out of things and so that I can predict things before they happen so I can be more proactive in the experience that I provide my customers, but also in the way that I operate my business. So these are the keywords: intelligence, productivity, speed, mobility, and connectivity. This is a journey we are taking. And in this process, we're going to introduce you to some of the things that we asked you about, like mobile applications, social marketing, e-commerce, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence. Like I mentioned, we're just going to be doing overall views of these technologies. We're going to do deeper dives in future webinars. So this is just to get you excited about what's coming up in the future. So let's talk about mobile apps. Today, we have mobile apps that are used primarily for, selling games or selling products, or maybe, providing customer service if we are, kind of at the cutting edge of that. But the truth is that there is infinite possibilities as to how you use mobile apps. So here's what we want you to think about. One, you want your customers and you want your colleagues and you want your partners and every stakeholder to stay connected. What's important you understand is that mobile apps provides you access to any vital information that you need in real time from any device at any time from anywhere. It'll allow you to manage your day, prioritize your day, and deliver on your commitments more consistently because you will be able to track your activities, what's most important, and you're going to be able to get those things done. It'll also provide you with sufficient information for you to make quicker and better informed decisions, whether that be through records, dashboards, reports, workflows, or validation rules. It doesn't matter. You determine what you need. Us, the experts from the technology side, will make it happen, and we will make it happen to you from your mobile device. And you want to be able to see anything and everything that's important to you in seconds when you need it. In other words, not because you looked for it, but because it came to you. And that's what we see with applications like Chatter and other collaboration tools. So imagine the power, okay, that you can harness from these functionalities out of a mobile device. So it's not just about Facebook anymore. It's not about shopping. It's not about emails. It's not about calling people. It's about being more productive, quicker, providing a better experience and giving yourself more productivity. Okay, so these are 4 points to look at. What else? Allowing you to take action. Action, meaning, what am I going to do with the information? Because too much information that is not actionable is not useful. You may feel very smart that you have it, but you can't do anything about it, so it's not translating into any change. So with action, you want to collaborate in real time. You want to be able to align team efforts. Hey, I see that Joe is struggling with this. Marty, can you please help him, because I know you have the experience. And let's do that now because I see that because of something he did in the CRM. Manage your leads, your contacts, your accounts, your opportunities, your cases, your campaigns, anything from your phone. And use collaboration to share ideas, not just to know what's going on, but to think about how you can do things better. What about polls? What do you feel about this idea? Vote if you like it, demote if you don't like it. And manage approvals or workflows on the go. You no longer have to say, I have to get to the office to see that. No, all the information is right there. You just have to click a button. It's approved. Move on. Next. Okay, these are the kinds of things that drive productivity. And this is exactly where you want to take your business. Another thing that we want to talk about is we want you to make applications your own. I have given you examples in the last 2 slides about other people's applications. But like I said, this is truly about infinite possibilities. It's not about the stuff that other people are doing. It's about the things that you could be doing to improve your business. So what we want you to be aware of is mobile apps are easier and faster to customize than ever before. And they can handle not just the stuff that's in your CRM, but you can use custom objects to engage with different areas of your business. This means that now you don't only have the information that's relevant to you, but maybe you want to know what's in your inventory, and that's not part of your department, but now you can have access to that. Or you want to know if the customer owes previous invoices and has a balance due. Now you can do that by interacting with your ERP and your accounting department. So it's all about managing interdepartmental workflows, making sure that you have access to inventories, and even create your own hiring app. Hey, I have a pool of applicants. I can't check it while I'm at home. While I'm at the office. I want to do it while I'm at home. Now I can create an object for that. Build point-and-click custom applications and roll them out quickly and easily. And finally, if you don't have the time to build them, or you don't feel that you have the resources to do it, or you don't want to hire a partner to do this for you, go to the App Exchange. Go to all these ecosystems that already have thousands and thousands of applications that are ready to go, that all you have to do is download them immediately, and they fully integrate with your CRM. So it's really about harnessing the power of something that is already available to you. A lot of people have this in their roadmap for the future. We are challenging that notion. We are saying you need to look at it now because it's cheaper, it's faster, and it's easier than you've ever imagined. Okay, so we want to make sure that you're getting this message so that you can start defining, what am I going to do next year? We're coming into the last quarter of the year. This is it, October, November, December. Let's start thinking ahead. Let's start putting in our roadmaps the things that we feel are going to help us get to the next level. And of course, the sky's the limit. Coca-Cola uses it for people to be able to buy a Coke from a machine out of their mobile device, but they use it also for customer satisfaction. Unilever, they use it for workplace. In other words, for managing information within their own organization. It's not even with customers. Okay, so there's unlimited capabilities that you have if you customize your mobile applications. So what we're putting out there for you is an idea that what you can do with mobile applications is truly remarkable, and it's available to you now, and it's cheaper than it's ever been. I'm going to do a pause. I do have a question. So Jason, thank you for your questions. Jason asks, as a larger, more established company that's trying to become more tech-friendly, where should I start? Do I complete the transitions in phases, etc.? Jason, thank you. Excellent question. Right? So you're getting fed all this information. Oh my God. Mobile, artificial intelligence, e-commerce, Internet of Things. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold it. Where do we start? You start with the basics. Okay? So that's why I asked when I did the polls, first, you want to have a CRM. Why? Because you want to be able to capture the information that is most important to the people that are paying you money, and those are your customers. So start with your CRM. That's the number one thing. Know who your leads are, engage your leads in a way that's effective for you to convert them, manage your opportunities in a way that you can be tactical and strategic to close them, and be able to serve your customers properly. That's where you start. But it sure as hell does not stop there. Okay? What's next? In my book, it's social marketing. It's the ability for you to go out there and capture new leads in a different way. So I would go social marketing. I would start extending my presence. I would start finding content that is relevant to my customers or to my audience. I would start building journeys that I feel are going to deliver a superior experience than my competitors do. And that's where I would go next. So now that I have my CRM and I have social marketing and marketing automation working for me, then probably I will look at mobile, making sure that, you know, I am further enhancing the processes with other areas, or that I am taking my product, my services, and my messages to my customers in a more personalized way, because now I know who they are. I've understood how they're interacting with me through social media, and I want to bind that experience to be even more personal through my mobile applications. And then I would look at artificial intelligence and how that helps you maximize and optimize the information that you have through these three mediums. And then I would look at Internet of Things. That's the pattern I would give you. Clearly, this is a generic response to a very generic question. We would look at this in context of your business and what you're trying to reach specifically. But to me, that's sort of the roadmap that you want to look in general. So, Jason, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, keep coming with other questions, and I will continue to answer as we move forward. So, again, I take this opportunity to encourage everybody else. Please ask your questions. We are happy to go with the flow and answer your questions as they come in. So now that we've answered that question, what's next? I said social marketing. I said that's where I would go next, and that's exactly what we're going to cover here. So I want you to understand that social marketing is no longer used to attract customers. At the beginning, it was all about, as its name says, marketing, right? So it's about me feeding information to capture the market. Well, that's the past. Social marketing also manages the full life cycle of each customer. That's why it's called a customer journey, okay? It manages everything from I saw you on social media, to I asked you a question, to you responded me, through now I'm getting ads with specific offers about that specific product, how I react to that ad, what I end up doing, and how I am experiencing the purchase, the delivery, and the servicing of your services or your products. And what we have seen is that already the results are impressive. We've seen in general a 40% increase in income as a result of using social marketing. We've seen a 41% improvement in conversion rates, meaning customers that were just listening to you to customers that are actually buying from you. We are seeing that campaign results and deployments are being drawn quicker. We're seeing a 46% improvement in campaign acceleration and a 53, that's huge, increase in web-based income, meaning purchases through e-commerce online. Okay, so again, in general, they're seeing a 43% improvement in every dollar they spend in marketing. So imagine that for every dollar that I spend in marketing, I'm going to get 43 more cents as a result of using social marketing. So I think the business case couldn't be any more clear. I think it's the next, not big thing, because it's no longer a big thing, but the next thing in your roadmap. It's something that you absolutely want to think about. So let's go a little bit deeper into understanding the benefits of social marketing and what the Marketing Cloud could provide you. Number one, it allows you to personalize your email marketing like never before. Now it's not just about one message fits all. It's about one message for each customer based on their behaviors, how they're engaging with you, what they're paying attention to. It's about creating exceptional social experiences. It's not just that you're talking to me, it's that you're talking to me about things that I care about. It is also helping you predict relevant content. So not only are you telling me about things that I care about, but you're actually now touching my hot buttons. You know exactly what I care about, how I care about it, and with what context I care about it. So imagine how much deeper we can dig into those relationships with our customers. We can engage more personally with mobile messaging, because now we're not just on the social channels. Now we can be on SMS and tell you, hey, by the way, there's this offer that came up that I know it's perfect for you. Okay, so we're not just talking to them sort of when they log in, we're talking to them proactively. You can manage ads that truly drive purchases because you are addressing the right audience with the right product, with the right context, and you are creating cross-channel or multi-channel journeys, meaning that I can now define the experience that I want regardless of who the customer is engaging with, which makes it of paramount importance if you want to have a coherent value proposition. So from advertising to sales to digital commerce to email and mobile messaging, mobile applications, connected products, social media, community, support agents, all of this is part of that journey, and that journey can be delivered through the social marketing platform. And that's something that we're going to be talking about. Keep your eyes peeled, your ears peeled, because we will be putting together a social marketing webinar very, very shortly. I wanted to illustrate for you sort of what that customer journey looks like. Clearly, this is a generic diagram, but the message is that social marketing now gives you control of what you want the customer to experience across every channel at any point. So whether that be a personalized email, whether that be a click on Facebook, or whether that be a newsletter sign up, taking that customer from that original engagement all the way through the messaging, the advertising, and the call to action that leads them through the first purchase can be managed through that social marketing cloud. Okay, it can be furthered when they download your application, when they become a mobile opt-in customer, so you can have those personal messaging opportunities with them, and across through the contact center platform when they actually call in because they have a problem, because their shipment didn't go, because the address you put wasn't the right one. So regardless of that, you will have the ability to provide one journey that is coherent from the beginning to end when you resolve that issue, which you can hopefully convert into a fan so that they can evangelize your brand, so they can be brand advocates for your organization. I mean, I know it sounds ideal, I know it sounds lofty, but the reality is social marketing can do this for you now. It's a matter of you exploring your options. And trust me, it's going to be quicker, faster, and cheaper than you ever thought it would be. It's available to businesses of all sizes. So the marketing value goes from mobile studio to manage your content on mobile, social studios to do it through channels, the social media channels, advertising so that your ads are the right ones, web studios so that you have the right landing pages and the right content where the customer actually clicks where you want them to click, for you to build the analytics that you need to make better decisions, to improve your campaigns, to improve your message, content builder to design, the communication strategy that you're going to be putting out there, personalization builder so that that journey can be as individual as a person that is following you, and then of course so that you can direct messages that attract the wider or the broader audience that you need to eventually draw in the traffic that you do to convert more opportunities into business. So this is what the journey builder looks at. This is what the marketing cloud touches. And if you really look at it now, you'd realize that social marketing is an understatement to the true value that you can get out of this solution. So again, this is another topic that we have exhausted. So if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to put them in. I don't see any at this point, so I will continue forward. Next thing we want to talk about is e-commerce. E-commerce is sort of an old thing if you've always been selling online. You'd kind of feel like, why are we talking about e-commerce? I mean, e-commerce has been there for ages. Not true. The fact that you can do a transaction online doesn't mean that you have a true e-commerce platform. Doesn't mean that you are capturing information about who your customer is. What are their demographics? What are they buying? How often are they buying? Why are they buying? What colors are they buying? Who else are they referring? You don't have that visibility in the traditional e-commerce platforms. So what you want to do is you want to build a coherent experience. So whether they go to your store, because that's where you make your brand visible and touchable, to your customer, or they go online, the experience is as similar and as coherent as it can possibly be. So some interesting statistics for you. It is expected that by 2017, and guys, we're 2016, that means by next year, people will be buying more through their mobile devices than through any other device ever before. That means that phones are going to be your point of sale. Are you ready for that? And do you have a platform that is not only functional, but that it is intelligent and that it is seamlessly integrated from your web to your store? So when the guy walks into your store, you already know what they bought online as well. Okay, are you there? Can you provide that seamless experience? Okay, and that's what you're looking for in today's e-commerce platform. That's why Salesforce has gone into the business. That's why it's important to you, because the experience has to be personal and it has to be holistic. It has to be fully integrated. It has to know what you said on Facebook. It has to know what you did when you went to the website. It has to know what you purchased, and the same at the store. And it has to blend all that in together so you can have that deeper customer knowledge. Okay, some more interesting statistics. 85% of e-commerce leaders believe that agility and speed of deployment will give them a competitive edge. That means that their e-commerce platform is changing daily. The e-commerce platform of the past is no longer cutting it. 86% of consumers say they will pay more for a superior shopping experience. Are you providing that superior shopping experience? And 80% of retailers say that the legacy technology that they've been using is actually holding them back. So I think this builds a very powerful case for the new dawn of e-commerce and what it can represent to your business. Okay, which takes us to an e-commerce that is not only newer and more cohesive and more innovative, but it's also more powerful than it's ever been. And it's more powerful because it's simpler, because now it's just part of a multi-channel strategy. It is intuitive, it is social, it is easy to use, it predicts what you like, it's integrated with the CRM, so I know not only what you like, but I also know who you are. It is flexible, meaning you can adjust it to anything that you need, whether that be a workflow, whether that be an offer, whether that be an ad, whether that be a customer survey, whatever you need it to be, it can be. Okay, it is quicker to create, to modify, and deploy. It takes minutes, hours, days, not months, not years. Okay, it is fully integrated with CRM workflows and rules so that you can automate your processes. So it's not just creating more work for you, it is actually doing your work so you can be more productive. Okay, and with today's technology, it embeds artificial intelligence, which allows you to make a much more predictive and offer a much more personalized and analytical experience to your customer, which we said is expecting for you to give them not only more convenience, but more relevant and smarter experiences. So that's exactly what we are presenting to you. That's where we feel that everybody needs to be. And whether you're B2B or B2E, don't think that you don't need to be able to offer your customers a proper e-commerce experience. You probably do, and it's important that you look at that. With that said, and I don't see any questions either for e-commerce, so I'm either boring you to death or you are finding the information to be quite clear as it is. So please, we ask that you continue to add questions. And now let's talk about Internet of Things. What is this IoT mystery? What is this all about? Well, this is about devices that are now connected. I mentioned a toothbrush. I mentioned running shoes. Well, all these things are connected, and they're online, and there's over 1.9 billion of them. And not only are they online, they're actually talking, and they're talking to systems, and in many cases, they're talking to each other. So this notion that only people connect to the internet, not anymore. Things connect to the internet. They're talking. They're saying things. Are you listening? Are you responding? Okay? So now objects or things are connected and interacting with systems and each other. It is being widely used I mentioned Schneider Electric. I mentioned Under Armour. I mentioned Philips. These are everyday brands. Schneider uses it to detect when they have equipment that may become faulty because it's analyzing how these equipments have been used, how many hours of usage they have, and they're comparing that to how other equipment has been performing, and now they can predict, hey, this system needs to be maintained now, because if we wait 2 more weeks, it may not work, and that will hold up our production, or that will hold up our generation of electricity, or this will hold up our inventory in the store. Or so it is as relevant as your business, and you need to be keeping an eye out for it. What is this Internet of Things value? How is this being used? What does it do for me? Well, it allows you to harness the power of all these connected devices by measuring how they're being used and converting that into action. And since everybody's moving to the cloud, the Internet of Things can process massive amounts of data so that you can build rules with simple and intuitive tools that interact with your customers proactively and in real time. A great example of that is Nest. Nest is looking at what temperatures you're using at the different times of your day, and it's actually telling you, hey, you probably want to change the temperature. When you start now applying artificial intelligence to that, it will actually change the temperature for you. Okay, but here's a screenshot of how IoT orchestration can tell you, hey, you have 2 million homes that have Nest, but you have 710,000 of those that are at risk because the batteries have been in there longer than they should, or they're already about 90% of the average duration of the battery. And 329 of those are already giving you an error. Okay, so now look at this. Now I can actually go to those 710,000 customers and tell them, we recommend that you change your battery. So we're not waiting for it to stop working. We're telling the customer before it stops working. And by the way, we see that 329 customers are having an error. I can do a deeper dive in that, find out what the error is, and tell my customer how to fix it. Do you see how it changes the dynamics? It is significantly different when I am calling the customer to inform them than when they are calling me to complain. And that's exactly where we're heading, and that's exactly where we want to take our customers. With that, we are leading on to artificial intelligence. And this is one of the things that was most, I would say, impressive, remarkable, amazing that we saw at Salesforce this year, at Dreamforce. I really thought AI was kind of a pitch about what the future looked like. And what I learned is that it's already there, it's already working, and it's already making companies more productive. And the best part of it, it's not that expensive. So that was truly powerful. So for those of you that are being introduced to AI, artificial intelligence is simply defined as the science of making computers do things that normally people will do. Right? Very simple. Computers can do what you can do. Most people react, oh my God, my job. Right? That's not really the risk here. Really, the opportunity is imagine the possibilities. How much more productive can I be? So now that computers can reason and plan and learn and understand your language, this brings significant implications to the way that we work. And that's the message today. We have these machine learning capabilities that allow you to analyze the information that you put into it. Then it can predict based on trends that they have seen from similar data. They can process natural language, which means now you can speak to it instead of have to type to it, and it can start giving you recommendations ahead of time. So what this technology does, it's looking at your information, it's analyzing it, and it's making recommendations. And the fact that this is available now is truly mind-boggling. I'm going to talk about a little bit about that in the next slide, but that is to me the most powerful thing. It's available now and it's cheap. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the value of AI. Basically, for companies that adopt artificial intelligence, they're going to far exceed the customer expectations. They're no longer playing the high CSAT score game. They're playing the I'm going to guess what you want before you want it game. And those are two different playing fields. So imagine a seamless connection with the customer that understands their behaviors and patterns to kind of tell you what they're going to need next before they even know it. Think about how that changes the interaction with your customer. And think about how you can now blend that in with social marketing, with e-commerce, with the Internet of Things. Okay, so this is stuff that, you know, takes the conversation to a whole new level. Imagine being able to pick up signals and feelings in real time from any source. Like, for example, a customer that's saying a negative thing about your company on social media. And for you to be able to analyze from where and when, and for you to be able to know exactly why it happened. And now you can not only take corrective action, but now you can engage that customer before he calls you to say, hey, I'm sorry you experienced that. We learned why this happened, and we're going to make it up to you in this way. Okay, but beyond this, beyond you being able to interpret that, imagine if all of a sudden technology would tell you that. Right? I mean, that is just like mind-blowing. So to me, it's sort of like having a crystal ball that can predict and recommend the next steps in your sales, in your marketing, and in your service processes so that you can improve those interactions with your customers. And needless to say that these implications are truly revolutionary, especially when it comes to commercial teams. Sales will be able to pre-qualify prospects, meaning these customers with these behaviors are more than likely to convert, and these are not. Therefore, why don't you bypass all these 6 useless steps, get to this, and find out if there's a real opportunity. Wow. I mean, isn't that incredible? Anticipate when an opportunity requires attention. You know what? You haven't called this customer in 3 weeks. Normally, these deals in these stages are making decisions within a week. So you may want to call them at least 2-3 times a week. Right? I mean, mind-blowing. Again, it's not waiting for you to come up with a conclusion. It's giving you the recommendation. Imagine a customer experience where regardless of what channel they use and what they've said, when they call in, you can say, hey, by the way, I like that post you put in last week about our brand. I'm happy you're using my shirts in your kid's soccer game. Yeah, some of you are going like, oh my God, isn't that an invasion of privacy? No, that information is available, and if you have access to it, it's because customers are not prohibiting you to know that through their privacy settings. So you are taking this to a whole new level, a level that completely redefines the notion of what CRM should be and definitely what CRM will be. So again, I know we've packed a lot into today's webinar. I hope that we have, at the very least, sparked your curiosity, and I hope that you want to learn more about these things. You know how to reach us. But before we give you all our information for contacting, we do want to open it up for some questions. So Diana, if you can help me with the questions that were raised before, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so yes, I'm getting them. Thank you, Diana. What do we mean by sales tech? This is a question that was included when the person registered to the GoToWebinar. So I think today that person would have answered that question. But you know, sales tech is technology beyond sales. It's saying, what else can I do beyond the CRM? Because most people think of sales tech as a CRM or a mobile app. As you've seen by today's presentation, it goes a lot farther than that. How can I have more effective and innovative sales process? So that's a very difficult question to answer, John, without understanding what are your specific products, services, what is your workforce like, who do you sell to, and all these things. But what I would start by saying is, what would you wish you could do different? What would you wish you could do better than your competitors? And what would I need to do to exceed my goals? And if you start with those 3 questions, you're going to get a whole bunch of ideas that I consider to be sort of the original scrapbook of defining what your innovation and your process changes should be. So if you start with that and you organize that information and you prioritize it based on impact, I think that'll give you a pretty clear roadmap as of the things that you need to start doing different in your business. Having said that, we can help. Reach out to us at info@Doble Group, and free of charge, we can have a 1-hour call with you to understand where you are, what you're trying to achieve, and we will be more than happy to give you much more specificity to our response than that. But without that context, I really can't give you much more than that. I see another question here. I want my company to be more innovative. How do I start? So the answer is similar, right? I mean, you want to look at where are you now? Where are you in comparison to your competitor? And what do you need to do to win? What do you need to do to win in your market? What do you need to do to win in your industry? What do you need to do to win with your customers? Start with that, and let's look at it together. Like I said, 1 hour, free of charge. We look into it. We do a deep dive with you, and we'll give you some very concrete recommendations on how you can start innovating. And I love these questions because at the very least, it's telling me that you guys are being inspired or motivated somehow to do things differently. And that's exactly what we feel technology can do for you. It really can open the possibilities up and give you access to actionable information in a way that it's been impossible to do until now. And then I have another question here. What is the best technology for sales? Don't take my word for it because I am biased. I believe the world's best technology for sales is the Sales Cloud. But again, that's a product that we sell, so you can take that with a grain of salt. Nevertheless, we do sit down with you. We see what your budget is. We see, what your key challenges are. And oftentimes we do tell our customer, you know what, maybe you need a starter CRM that looks like this, and you can get started with that. And eventually we get you up to Salesforce. So the best technology for you is going to depend on your budget. It's going to depend on the size of your organization, the products that you sell, the market that you sell to, the competition that you have, and the methodology that you want to use to improve your sales results. And those are all within our scope of expertise. So we, of course, welcome your engagement directly with us so that we can give you better information. All right, so I think that covers the questions. I don't know if there's any other questions, Diana? I'm assuming that means no. We are over time by 1 minute and 32 seconds. So thank you so much again for participating with us on this webinar. We remind you that besides the world's greatest technologies, we help you with training, coaching, commercial process improvement, and of course, configuration development, integration, support, and deployment of the world's leading CRM technologies. So thank you very much for being with us today. We appreciate your time, and we urge you to continue to stay in touch with us through the different social media channels. Once again, thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon.